by now you should have been exposed to all the process expectations required of you for prowess in linear equations. In other words, the thought processes, the mind processes, and the mathematical processes required of you to make a success of any linear equation thrown at you. Then you should have also seen the video on the background theory, explaining what is a linear equation, how does it work, and how do you solve it. Now we are going to be looking at some examples of linear equations. How would a typical linear equation be solved? Remember, this is the last step of the solving process, because we assume that you by now at this stage already have the equation. Sometimes you still need to get to this stage, for instance if you are given a story sum. But this is just to take you through some of the techniques of getting plus 1x alone on the left hand side, as we said in the background theory video. Now if you take a look at this one, we've got x plus 9 is equal to 13. There is already a plus and a 1 in front of the x. Remember, if there is nothing written, you can assume it's plus 1. So we're happy with the x part of this equation. We just don't like the plus 9, which is on the left hand side. And to get rid of that, we're going to say minus 9, because plus 9 minus 9 is equal to 0. That's exactly what we want. But remember, the rule also says what you do on the left hand side or on the one side, you must also do on the other side. So we're going to say minus there as well, and that will then leave us with x alone, or plus 1x alone on the left hand side, and 13 minus 9 is equal to 4 on the right hand side, and that's the solution. Then we move to another example. Now we have a minus 3 in front of the r, plus we've got a plus 3 on the left hand side. Now we always start with the numbers not involving the variable, in this case the r, so we're going to get rid of that plus 3 first by again just saying minus 3, because that will then basically get rid of it. Remember, on the other side as well. The next line would now look like this. We still have the minus 3r, but we have 15 minus 3 is equal to 12 on the right hand side. Now we need to get rid of the minus 3 so that we can get plus 1r alone on the left hand side, and to do that we'll divide by minus 3, because minus 3 divided by minus 3 is equal to plus 1r, which is exactly what we're looking for. And we just need to remember to do the same on the other side. 12 divided by minus 3 is equal to minus 4. So the solution to that equation is r is equal to minus 4. Now we've got suddenly faced with a fraction as part of the equation. But again, remember, there's the fraction part there, but there's also a plus 2, which we don't want there. So to get rid of the 2 first, because it doesn't involve a variable, we'll just say minus 2 first of all, and then remember to do the same on the other side. And what will remain on the left hand side now is y over minus 5 is equal to 2 minus 2 is 0. Now what do? Well, we just go ahead. We get rid of the minus 5, because we still want plus 1y alone on the one side. And to get rid of the minus 5 below the line, what we'll do is to multiply with minus 5 over 1, so that those two can cancel. And remember, what you do on the one side, you must do on the other side, but on the right hand side it won't make a difference. So we've got y is equal to 0. Doesn't really matter what happens on the right hand side, because it's multiplied by 0 anyway. But if it wasn't a 0, you would have had a number, and that would then be the solution to y, or to the variable of the equation. Then we look at a typical way in which an equations question might be asked in the form of a story sum. Sarah buys 3 apples and 9 bananas from the local grocer. She knew that the price of the apples were 12 cents each from a poster outside the shop, but forgot to check the price of the bananas inside the shop. When she got home, her mother wanted to know how much each of the bananas cost. Now the price for all the fruit that Sarah bought was $1.53. Can you help her figure out what the price of the bananas was, using mathematical skill and not guesswork? In other words, you must compile an equation. So what we'll do is we'll say 3 apples times by 12 cents plus 9 bananas times by x cent, because remember, we don't know what the price of the bananas were, so that's why we'll call it x cent. And this together adds up to 153 cents. Not 1.53. Remember, we're working in cents on the left hand side, so you must work in cents on the right hand side as well. This will then give us 36 plus 9x is equal to 153, and then we just need to follow the same pattern as before. We'll get rid of the 36 by saying minus 36 on both sides first, which will then leave us with 9x is equal to 117, and then we just divide both sides by 9 to get 1x alone, plus 1x is equal to 13. In other words, the bananas cost 13 cents each.